Steamboat Geyser, the world's tallest active geyser, just erupted again. Now this is what it looked like when the geyser erupted in 2014, which was the most recent eruption.
Watery weirdness on the Hudson River in Rockland County is caught on camera.
I see vigorous bubbling along the shoreline. I've never seen anything like it in my life. I've been around the water my whole life.
Sometimes Mother Nature puts up such shows that seem to twist the minds of every onlooker, from bizarre waters that bubble and boil to instances that look like glitches. Get ready to witness what a camera captures that would be hard to believe otherwise. Flying water. Get ready for this one, it's going to be epic. This is the Grand Geyser from Iceland. These wonders of nature are known to throw water up to 40 meters in the sky every 5 to 10 minutes. And in case you're wondering how that is possible, I'll tell you the reason behind it. This spectacle occurs when underground water is heated by geothermal heat from the Earth's interior and gets the pressure needed to put up the show. It's amazing what our natural world is capable of. Pipeline blasting. No matter what you think, this is an official work in progress. The movement through the sand was pipeline blasting. It is an efficient method that involves using controlled explosives to clear a path through difficult terrain or remove rock during pipeline construction and maintenance. This method is chosen for its efficiency in breaking through hard materials, allowing for the laying or removal of pipelines. So, if you ever come across something like this in the desert, no need to worry. It's just some people doing their job. Watery weirdness. Some locals spotted bizarre bubbling near the shore of the Hudson River that was never observed before, even by the river experts.
Bubbling along the shoreline. I've never seen anything like it in my life.
Officials also jumped in to check the source of this site, and after some investigations, they only found out it was some gas escaping from the surface, and not exactly which one it was. Netizens, on the other hand, had a different perspective. They believed that the power plant nearby was affecting the natural gas reservoirs of the area, causing them to leak out. Even though the experts stated that the gas eruption had no negative effects on the environment, locals believed otherwise.
Really just a mystery to be solved. It's not a problem for the environment.
Bubbling sand. This group of friends was out on a stroll when they found mysterious bubbling, as if it was some sort of sand spring. Out of curiosity, they even dropped a brick on it, which was completely engulfed. The truth behind this odd occurrence was that this was an abandoned well, and it had accumulated carbon dioxide bursting and pushing the sand outward, creating a bizarre-looking sand spring. On another occasion, locals of Gaza noticed odd bubbling, and it was blamed on rising temperatures by many viewers. Even here, the culprit was underground gases escaping on the surface that were trapped in the sand. Rich locals. These people are most probably gonna get quite rich soon. Although oil is found several meters deep in the ground, the explorers were lucky enough to find some of it literally boiling out of the sand surface. I knew these deserts had loads of oil, but I had no idea it was this much. In another instance, a group was searching for water in the deserts of Algeria and came across oil gushing out from the surface. They better get ready for some riches, as they just hit a jackpot. Or maybe just a pipeline that had burst open. Whatever the case, they were disappointed to find oil instead of water. Boiling mud. Doesn't that sound satisfying? This is actually the bubbling mud of Rotorua, New Zealand. These sites oddly resemble some kind of alien world activity, but are just Mother Nature doing its job. and the secret lies in geothermal activity. The heat from the Earth's interior warms underground water, creating steam and gas. These gases rise through mud formed from volcanic ash and water, causing it to bubble. So if you are thinking of bathing in here, make sure to get yourself checked because no sane person would want that. City Waterfall. People in Adhira, West India were caught off guard when they witnessed a giant waterfall right in the middle of the city. The reason behind this bizarre sight was a pipeline breakage. This happening was so immense that the water spurt reached a height of about 8 stories. I'm pretty sure after this incident, these people didn't have to wash their cars for almost a week. Gushing water. The Yamuna River in India took the most intense shape when it started gushing water out and gave the people a surprise who could not believe what had happened in front of their eyes. They instantly started coming up with different theories, ranging from an underwater demon to the sign of end times. Soon the reality came forward, and it was just some leakage in the underwater pipeline of the Indian Oil Corporation. The officials had accepted their fault and even started working on it as they detected and plugged the problem. Angry volcano. Some scientists wanted to perform an experiment by throwing a stone into a volcano, and let me tell you, it did not go as planned. Their tiny rock had disturbed the surface of the otherwise sleeping beast and started a reaction that could lead to some trouble. This video cleared my question about why we don't get rid of our garbage by throwing it in volcanoes. Demon summoning. Residents of Madrid witnessed a sight so horrifying that they started saying a demon from hell was ready to take over their city. Out of nowhere, this eerie substance and smoke started emerging from beneath the roads. Experts arrived at the scene to examine and contain the situation, but they could not come up with a solid reason for this happening. They speculated that some underground pipe might have erupted and caused this horrifying scene. Considering it happened in a busy area, it was amazing how everyone stayed safe even after the ordeal. Dark monster. In the murky waters of Amazon, some people spotted a dark entity rising from beneath the surface. That was the most haunting thing they had witnessed so far. The worst part about this encounter was that the dark spot kept on increasing in size, and they had no clue what it was. Soon, those living nearby began to believe this entity was of extraterrestrial origin, resembling a dark, sentient spot straight out of the movie Venom. But a logical explanation can also be considered here. Some viewers suggested that it was a gas bubble that escaped from the riverbed and made its way to the surface. Icy trap.
Wake up.
If you're looking for a thrilling adventure, you better head to Solnata, Alaska. Some visitors in this area found a lake with a white disk of methane gas trapped in the water. So they decided to do something fun. One of them created a tiny hole with a pickaxe and the other lit it up with a lighter. It's kind of satisfying to see the white disc gradually disappear from the scene as it was getting used up by the flame. Their experiment didn't just stop there. They added an even more interesting factor when they came back at night and did the exact thing, which looked even better. Now that's what I call a fun experiment.
Yeah. Big one.
Flying fish. Looks like these fishermen had just hit a jackpot on an ordinary day of their work. This sight was recorded at the Kiri Tirikal, when fishermen were amazed to see hundreds of sardines leaping up out of the water, jumping straight into their hands to make a tasty meal. The excited onlookers were captured excitedly throwing their nets in the water to gather as many fish as they could, and even bringing baskets with them. Some experts estimated this favorable condition was created due to migrating sardines that move through the waters due to temperature changes, but the exact reason was not known. Nonetheless, it was a joyous moment for the locals. Fiery tornado. Although all elements have a shape and form of their own, in this instance the fire decided to take up a different form. This happened when a homeowner in North Dakota tried to get rid of the snow in his garage by burning it, and it started moving throughout the area like some sort of a tiny tornado. Looks like he was not expecting that to happen, but something tells me he enjoyed the tiny experiment. Bird invasion.
Hundreds of birds swarm a house. Then they do something amazing. They fly right into the chimney.
Now that looks like a scene straight out of a horror movie, with this house being cursed. Although they did not have any curse of any sort, these birds had a special problem with their owners. They all ganged up and invaded the house in big quantities, like uninvited guests, and even stayed on the ceilings to avoid getting caught. Even animal control could not offer any help in the situation, and the birds left the place only when they felt right. That guy won't be messing with any birds after this encounter.
That was not a flock of birds, that was a gang. A gang. I know the difference, I did my research.
Demonic manhole. I don't know about you, but if ever I saw a manhole doing anything other than covering the sewers, I'd run away from that city forever. Just look here when people captured a manhole frantically bouncing all over the place like it was jamming to its favorite song. As soon as netizens saw this, they came forward with the most bizarre possibilities. Some called it the after effects of a Ninja Turtle party, while others had some pretty dark thoughts and were convinced that this whole area was under demonic possession. How about we consider a neutral approach? It could be an air bubble frantically pushing this manhole. I'll go with this one. Floating land. The bridge at Chippewa Flowage faces problems due to a floating bog every once in a year that gets there while floating. So locals in the area came forward with an exciting plan. They gathered around some of the most strong boats and started pushing the piece of land away from them. It's great to see how people united to solve their problems and were able to devise a proper plan. Satisfying avalanche. We've all seen the creepy side of avalanches, but here's a video that'll change their reputation. Some locals captured this mesmerizing footage of a whole pile of snow making its way down a mountain, and every onlooker was shocked by its beauty. The reason why they were all standing there so calmly was because there was a lake between them. Otherwise, anyone would run from the scene. Inhumane strength. We've all wanted superhuman strength like the Hulk, and this guy somehow possesses it. Although he's not very muscular, he still manages to pull out a boulder from the Earth's surface. And that's not all. He even started lifting it up with some telekinesis. Now, this is getting seriously out of hand. While some viewers were super impressed by this man's strength, others were skeptical that this could be a clever trick. Wobbly land. Looks like this land has lost its stiffness and is now just moving with the slightest of pressure in its area. If I was there, I wouldn't dare step on some unstable land. Although it might look like this was dangerous, it actually wasn't. This is quite a normal phenomenon that happens due to water saturation after excessive rainfall, which reduces its stability and causes it to become soft and wobbly. Allergies alert.
This new video from an Action News viewer shows just how bad the pollen is out there right now.
If you have pollen allergies, you better stay away from this video. A digger in Millville, New Jersey accidentally bumped into a tree and emitted this whole bomb of pollen in the air. It was like these tiny objects were just waiting to get loose and take over the air. For some reason, it looks kind of satisfying to me. On another instance, a fallen pine tree decided to put up a show before going down and created this eerie pollen cloud all over the place. We all gotta take extra care of ourselves in this weather. Mayflies take over.
Well, like if I want to go to the gas station and just...
No, this is not some scene from a horror movie. It happened in Louisiana when hundreds of mayflies decided to crash their party at a gas station. Although it might look like this place was cursed, in reality, it was just these mayflies loving the light in the area. The exact reason for their occurrence in such huge numbers was not discovered. But I don't think these people had that concern. They were most probably trying to avoid contact with these critters.
Well, like if I want to go to the gas station and just...
Red City.
You guys, that's all crickets.
Residents of Nevada witnessed the worst nightmare of any person alive when their city was taken over by hundreds of Mormon crickets. These critters had not left even a single inch of the civilization. From roads, houses, and even fields, everything was covered by Mormon crickets. Now, although these mean beings don't bite or fly, just watching them crawl all over the place is enough to give the creeps. But why were they on a city stroll? Well, environmental factors like warm winters and wet springs lead to population booms in these large katydids. They migrated en masse in search of food and overwhelming areas. Hypnotic sand. Feeding the fish at Wiley Lake in Aberdeen got a lot more exciting for a local when he noticed this sand formation on the riverbed. It was spewing out sand in the most amazing manner that could hypnotize any viewer. He had been observing the sandy structure growing since the start of the season and was curious about what it could be and had no idea.
Eating fish this year, I noticed this little divot in the bottom.
Some online users identified it as a tiny sand volcano or just a sand formation spewing out new particles from the riverbed. If you have any idea what it was, share in the comments. Burning tree. A tiny mistake while lighting fireworks led to this sight, which looks straight out of some horror movie. A group of kids had accidentally pointed their crackers towards a palm tree that got lit up most awfully. Obviously, they didn't have anything appropriate to extinguish it, but they did make some amazing videos after calling for help. Underworld.
You guys, look at this sweet crack that we found in the ice.
At first, it was not exactly known what these men had discovered, but it looked like the upside-down world was intervening with our reality. The bizarre black spot in frozen ice was found by a group of people, and although it's very promising to be some sort of an alien thing, this was made by lightning that left a notable black crack in its place.
It's like a bolt of lightning hit right there.
It's wonderful what nature can do. Eternal flame. We've all heard that water extinguishes fire, but this particular place seems to defy all rules of the world. You might think this is some kind of trick, and it is one, played by Mother Nature herself. This happened due to methane gas continuously seeping from the ground, which fueled this unquenchable fire. I guess these men will have to find out another way to put this fire out. Magical wand. I know it looks like this was done by some kind of a magical wand, but this was all the work of science. This person used some sodium acetate and water to create this marvelous sight and was amazed at how incredible the results came out. If you ever want to perform some magic, just know that science has got your back. Possessed ladder. A bizarre scene was caught on camera when a ladder was tired of being stepped on by so many people and decided to get rid of all its problems. It was clear that no one was there to move the object, and it was maneuvering through the place all on its own. This is getting kind of twisted to solve, so if you have any answers on it, let me know in the comments. Disciplined ducks. Nothing could stop these ducks from moving together, not even a frozen lake. This video captured an interesting scene when a whole flock of ducks were passing through a narrow passage created by the melting river. And I must say, this has to be the most disciplined manner I've ever seen in ducks. The best part was that they were even enjoying their time together while moving through the stream. Half-rendered sky. Eyewitnesses of this site were baffled to see two colors in the sky and were convinced that this was the perfect proof of our world being a simulation. And I mean, who wouldn't think that way? A straight line through the clouds and the sky being divided in half was perfect to play with people's minds. At first, I was also convinced, but a bit of digging brought forward some acceptable results. This bizarre sight can be created due to light scattering or pollution gradients in the environment, or when two different air masses meet but do not mix. So, no need to worry about the simulation theory. Nature's decorations. Believe it or not, but these were not decorations for Halloween, but nature's way of expressing who runs the world. The creepy footage was captured somewhere in Liverpool by locals who were baffled to see their whole neighborhood covered in a white blanket. And here's why. These were crafted by ermine moths who had taken over the area to bring forward their next generation. The moths mostly cover entire bushes and chew down each leaf to get ready for their breeding process. Their breeding seasons are like the reminder that no matter how many buildings we make, the world belongs to Mother Nature. Tumbleweed takeover. I'm not sure if having this much tumbleweed in one place is supposed to be normal. A driver was passing across the desert and road in Ojai County when he stumbled across this bizarre sight and felt like he had ventured into some other land. Thousands of these tumbleweed balls had taken over the road as they owned it, and there was barely some space left for the cars to drive on. Gates to hell. If hell ever exists, there is a great chance this is what its gates would look like. Luckily, this was just a creepy terrain in our world created when some workers accidentally ignited a flame in a coal mine and it had been burning ever since. They even tried to put it out, but there was no way of doing it. So with an unlimited supply of coal that powers the flame, so now we have this creepy depiction of gates of hell right in front of us. Way of life. Ever wondered how marine life survives under the frozen ice sheets? Here is a bowhead whale breathing through the ice sheet and making life possible in the most impossible conditions. Killer whales on the other side have a bit of a different strategy. A whole pod was spotted by locals in Inhumane, gathering around a small hole to get some air. Their behavior shows that life finds a way even through the toughest times. Multiple suns. Believe it or not, this was taken on our planet, and it was real. Dozens of people in China witnessed a tiny sun right across the giant one. And although many thought that a new star had entered our galaxy, it was actually just Mother Nature playing tricks. This was a sundog. These optical illusions are created when sunlight refracts through ice crystals in the atmosphere and makes a halo of light. On another instance, 4 suns were seen in the sky and had people wondering if it was the end of times. Although these look super real, they were also optical illusions created by the perfect balance of reflecting light and atmospheric conditions. Bizarre aircraft.
Let's take a look at our footage over here. Oh my gosh, look at this thing. Could be.
This intriguing occurrence was recorded in North Carolina in August 2016, yet it remains unexplained. The footage captured 3 distinct lights, each emitting smoke and suspended in the sky without a clear explanation. Although viewers had some guesses regarding the sighting, like alien life forms visiting our planet, hidden technology, and whatnot, yet nothing was confirmed and it was forgotten over time. No wonder we're living in a bizarre world. Cloudy ground. Normally, clouds are supposed to stay in the sky and do their job, but in one instance, some of the clouds retired and made their way to the ground. People were thrilled to see these fluffy things roaming the streets with them. I'm pretty sure they lived the childhood dream of touching and playing with them. But here's the truth. Although these looked very cloud-like, they were clusters of foam flying around the city like they owned the place. Some people estimated that it escaped from industry, and that it was better to maintain distance with the foam. Fiery show. These were not amazing fireworks at work. It was actually a clogged up chimney doing much more than its job. The bizarre sight was captured in Iceland by some factory workers who had no idea what was going on right in front of them. Although they could not exactly find the reason behind this amazing air spectacle, it was most probably the clogged up ash and soot lighting up the sky. Luckily, the cold weather and snow kept the situation under control. Giant footprints.
Y'all see this? This is the same size as my foot. You see this?
A woman in Oakland, Tennessee came home after a long day of work and heard some noise near her house. When she went out to check what it was, she found the most bizarre thing ever.
Y'all see this? This is the same size as my foot. You see this?
There were these footprints as big as her own foot size between her and her neighbor's house, and they did not seem to make any sense. The woman was left with questions regarding her own safety and security, but viewers had a different point. They thought that someone could be pranking her with special boots. Honestly, why would some go to that length to get revenge?
Y'all see this? This is the same size as my foot. You see this?
Magical world. What in Harry Potter's name is going on here? A man walking in the calm streets of Portland witnessed this leaf suspended in the air in the most eerie way possible. Despite there being strong air currents and some rainfall in the area, this little one stayed on its course and looked like it had a message to give to this pedestrian. Even though it feels like someone will appear from an invisible cloak anytime soon, here's the reality behind this encounter. This is actually nature at work with the right amount of air, in the perfect combination that can move a light leaf however it wants. Just like I said before, magic lies in science. Brain freeze. Just looking at this gravity-defying ice stick made my brain freeze most bizarrely. The video was shared on TikTok by a confused person who was looking for answers to his eerie find. Well, the internet did not disappoint. While some came up with possibilities like static electricity or a glitch in the matrix, others simply called it a well-executed prank. But the reality of this odd appearance was never confirmed. If you have any answers, do share them. Strong bug. We've all thought of bugs as small, weak animals, but let's just appreciate the grip this little one has. Some drivers noticed this bug hitching a ride on their car's antennas and were more than happy to get it wherever it wanted. No matter what you had put at it, there's no way this bug could let go anytime soon. Magical ovens. I'm not sure what this is or how it was made, but it does look satisfying. It's like the smoke from one oven was getting transferred to the other one with a portal. If you've got any answers on this one, do share, because my mind just went numb trying to solve this one. Trippy mushrooms. Our forest hosts the most interesting yet mind-twisting species, and one of them are the glowing mushrooms. These fungi are like the rock stars of the dark. Just as night falls, glowing mushrooms turn up their glow and appear as if they're shining in the dark. After continuous studies from the experts, it's still not clear why they needed to do it. Just a theory is that they attract insects for mating and then consume them. Walking leaves. These are not walking leaves, but something far more interesting. A group of travelers noticed the amazing scene of leafcutter ants doing their job and transporting leaves. And they just don't use it for eating them directly. There's a whole process going on here. These industrious insects carry the cut leaf pieces back to their nests, where they use them to cultivate a special type of fungus, which serves as their primary food source. Who knew even ants could have complex working structures? Ocean alien. A fisherman caught this strange alien-like animal while carrying out his routine day that had the most bizarre looks and an uncanny resemblance to alien life forms. Although he didn't have any idea about what he had encountered, viewers came forward with answers to solve this mystery. This was actually a basket start, and these species mostly inhabit the deep waters. This shows why we should be exploring our water bodies for alien forms. It's time for today's open discussion. You are looking at one of the biggest geysers in the United States. This natural spectacle shoots boiling water up to 184 feet in the sky. It earns the name from its predictable eruptions, captivating visitors every 90 minutes. Beneath the surface, water seeps into underground chambers, heated by the park's volcanic activity. As the water boils, pressure builds until it forcefully ejects upwards, creating a breathtaking display. This geothermal marvel set against the backdrop of Yellowstone's rugged beauty showcase the powerful forces at work beneath the Earth's crust. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.